Hello. I don't know if anyone's here yet. We'll supposed to get started in like 5 minutes, but I'm trying this picture-in-picture because I don't like it when the internet flips things and I'm trying to show someone something to read. Hi, Kitty. My cat's having a meltdown. Let me make sure she's fed. Come on, let's get some food. Come on. Oh my goodness, what's over here? Look at this. Oh, that's so good. That says Kitty. Do you know what else says Kitty? Yeah. Does it say Kitty? Oh, that's some good stuff. All right. Hello, hi. My name's see, I can't do that because I want you to see my computer. They'll let me make it be quiet. How's everyone today? It is another day above ground, which they tell me is a good thing. I'm not always in agreement, but it is lovely to be here with you. And I am going to introduce you to this chart, which is the map of Chinese medicine. And this is colorized. Okay, so this is a historic document that was located in a temple in Beijing, China in the 19th century. And the human who found it was like, oh my gosh, because he started reading the original. Let me find the original for you so you can see what the, that's what your insides look like. This is the chart of the insides that I've been working with my whole life. This is what it looks like. This is the historic document. So this is an ink rubbing. That is my cat. So this is showing a lot of things. If you do Tai Chi, if you practice any martial art, you might see this. This chart is popular with the yin yoga humans. I would love it if they're also actually navigating it. I'm not sure that's always the case. And this is what you've been seeing me stand in front of the last day or so, just without the text. So this, I believe, is a mirror or a balancing concept to this, which is your vagus nerve. So, I need to get something to point with. Hold on. I have just the item, but I don't know where it is. So we're going to use this. So this is your vagus nerve. There you go. This is the chart of the inner landscape of Chinese medicine. Okay? This is a Grey's Anatomy version of what all of the polyvagal humans and everybody speaking to nervous system regulation, they're speaking to this. Okay? They're not speaking to your whole nervous system. They're speaking to your central, your autonomic, and that. Okay? This, and that's cool because that's what the theory is. I'm not saying the theory is bad. I'm saying that it's a theory. Everybody's going to need a bridge. Doesn't it make sense? Everybody's going to need a bridge from the idea to a practice. We all need a bridge. This is why everybody's so excited going to polyvagal everything trainings, because I got to tell you, I've been studying with the inventor of this theory and his most esteemed everybody. The theory hasn't changed. What's been changing is what we're being directed towards. Okay. I may be the only human currently that has accidentally experienced Taoist alchemical birth, which is the golden elixir promise of all of this. I may be the only human ever to accidentally experience that within the framework of polyvagal theory. And I say accidental because this is a chart of alchemy. This is a magic chart. Okay? There's so much Chinese mythology in here. It's really amazing. Can I expand this for you? Yeah, hold on. So, oh good, I'm not even in it now. This is a weaver. It's a girl. And I really want to be in here though. I don't know where. So the weaver, she is weaving a thread that goes up to the brain. In the colorized version that is in my shop, that is red. Let me switch the camera here and see if, can I make the camera be different? No, see, it's like once I'm in, I'm completely, oh, here we go. Hello, hi. Okay, so the this weaver and the goat, not a goat herd, that's from Sound of Music, Katie. It's an ox herd in Taoism. I forget these things. Can I get my... No, I'm going to have to grab my chart. Hold on. So we're talking about the inner landscape and how it relates to polyvagal theory and why this inner landscape is a great, fantastic, amazing bridge. And currently I'm discussing the ability to go against nature. All of Taoist alchemy, my friends, has to do with besting entropy. That's what we're doing. The whole point, okay, the point, if there is a point, the point is we can make water go against gravity. This kind of like being able to do a thing, anti-alchemy, I can't wait to hear what you have to say to this. This is so powerful. So the two concepts I'm speaking to right now, this is the weaver, this is the ox herd. She is weaving this thread that connects into, this is the bell tower, okay? That's your pineal gland. This is often translated as the sun. That's your pineal gland. Okay, I don't know where the fuck my dorsal vagal shutdown is, Stephen Porges, but I know that right where you tell me my dorsal vagal experiences is a very important gate in Chinese medicine, like an actual position that we hold internally to the body. So it's important. I'm just saying, like Stephen Porges, let's get there from the inside, okay? So we're here, but also this dorsal point in the spinal column is directly across from the heart. Let me show you what happens to the heart. Because none of this is only me or you. We've got to get into the cosmos. Everything in TCM, this is all a fractal, and the most simple one is the one of 3, but we can do 5, 7, 9, 8, and 6 if we want, that I know for sure. I mean, at least I can tell you how to code it if anybody wants to actually, I'm not learning any more Python, fuck that. Okay, so here's this kid. Okay, this is these are coins. It's translated as coins, but what does it look like? It looks like the Big Dipper. He is standing on the heart which is right where that dorsal point is, where in polyvagal theory we're supposed to remember that we have a dorsal and a ventral and blah blah blah. Okay, my dorsal matters if I'm swimming. If I'm swimming, my dorsal fin is going to be helping me with gravity, but if I'm standing, it's not. And what this shows to me, and again, I'm not like an expert Chinese medicine human, I just happened to experience what all of this promises by accident, and then reverse engineered the I Ching. Hello. With math and logic, because I've been studying the philosophy. It's logic. Hello, autism. The pericardium, like the encasing of the heart in Chinese medicine, has its own place in the fire element. It's a double element. So the heart itself, the encasing of the heart, look what's happening here. We've got the weaver spinning her menstrual fluid against gravity. This is, hello, right? When the weaver and the ox guy get together, then you have a baby. They're not even supposed to get together. One of them is Vega and one of them goes to a whole other constellation. So here I now have 1, 2, he's going to the Big Dipper. We also have one of the planes in the body. If you go into certain biological contexts, one of the planes is called the sagittal plane. Here it is, Sagittarius. Thank you. Yes, I have that all done programmatically as soon as somebody gives me the money so somebody else can write the code. So I'm not learning that. So when somebody says to me, nervous system regulation, I don't know what that means, okay? When somebody says to me, where do you feel anger? What's the emotion? I don't know. I was undiagnosed autistic until I was 50. I'm 53. I had to ask about that. I thought I was 54 there for a sec. 53. 50 years of my life I went not knowing I was autistic, not being able to label an emotion, walking into walls, everything, all the hypermobility, broken everything. This has kept me alive because, well, I don't really understand stuff, but there's supposed to be this like whole zone where I can hang out in my belly. Like I can go have a picnic there. It's an ecosystem in the gut. The Chinese, this is the inventor of Chinese medicine, wrote about this, wrote about ecosystems. Epigenetics is contained in this. There are factors and variables to deal with, like what a human's constitution is and what the context is. This is Dr. Kimberly Douglas, getting me so focused. So the context of, I got all excited. Hold on, let me look at this. Focus, Chinese medicine. I don't know. I'm just very happy. So I've been wanting to share and show this because I read this map. I read this map through the images. I did not know that this translation or even the colorized version existed until about 1.5 years ago. And I don't think it's ethical for me to teach from a tool that I can only speak to at the level that everybody's using it. Then it's not a tool, it's a toy. So now that I have proper translations of this that I can also map to Chinese medicine and also map to my understanding of the I Ching, which by the way, it all does. All does. And I know, this is so cool, isn't it? So this is also at the very top of this is your head. Like, I can see a body here. I don't see a body when you show me a vagus nerve. I can see a body here. I can see seasons. I can see different ecosystems. I can see, this is the tensegrity, Dr. Kimberly. So I've been rereading The Yellow Emperor's Text of Chinese Medicine, which is the book. He writes about tension and flow. So we're just going to call it turgidity because I love that word. This ox herd bridge, ox, the whole presence of ox, I don't know how it maps to Vedic because I'm not in the Vedic system that much. I'm in the asana, but not in the philosophy. In Tao, ox are often like historically in the art, as I've been taught and as I understand. It's kind of like the this to the man in that, here, let me show you. I have pictures of them. So this is Lao Tzu. He's the guy who's credited with writing the Tao Te Ching. You need to teach me about ancient history? Please do. I would love it. But so Lao Tzu, and then let me just tell you the story. This is Chuanzi. I'm like whatever with him a little bit. He's very like, I don't need any more of that, okay? But this is Confucius, and he's credited with writing the Analectics, which is like the Plato, the Aristotle, like a similar, okay? These are three wise men, by the way. There's a whole trine. I gave these to my mother when she got her PhD in Asian art history with a specialization in ceremonial objects of Edo, Japan, because we're both that weird. I, of course, went a different path. Lao Tzu, he basically says, like, you should never have to write anything down, ever. There's a lot of political commentary in art about three wise men. Oh, the first was Chuanzi. Here. Sometimes he gets Li Tzu, but really he was Chuanzi. Okay. This is all poetry. A lot of this is written Socratically as well. So the Yellow Emperor, when he was writing into being Chinese medicine, his text is him speaking with his ministers, and he's asking them what he should do to treat people. And the way he talks about it is so autistic. Can I tell you? It is so like not direct. It is so conditional. It is so conditional. It's conditional on the condition of this. It's conditional on the constitution of the human. Just like generally speaking, I tend towards fire. Generally speaking, my twin brother tends towards wood, generally, constitutionally. So you would be taking into consideration that. Then you're thinking about, what am I doing? Do I have to increase? Am I decreasing? Do I want to keep things the same? And depending upon where and when you are in the year and in larger cycles will impact where on the meridian. Where on the meridian your acupuncturist puts the needle. I don't do acupuncture, but that makes a lot of sense to me because this is also the bagua. So the waistline here, this is heaven and earth. Heaven is sky. It's not like, or celestial, right? The front to back, right? This axis, there's the sagittal axis. And this plane that separates us from the front to the back, that's called the coronal axis. And the way that the meridians on the outside of the body end up getting mapped, they're the same. So like when I had my mastectomy, I didn't know, like seriously, when I had my cancer thing, I was like, I'm just going to be a business process engineer and learn what it is because I had never really experienced, like really. So I was paying a lot of attention to like how they did things, everybody. And so when I was seeing my acupuncturist for the pain, she never ever treated this side. She always treated the other side. And I was like, oh, is that because my energy body is the same no matter what? And she said, yes, it is. And so this idea of like bilateral stimulation, it is written into the code. But it's not only written in this way, it's written in this way, and it's written in up and down. So forward, back, side to side, up and down. That makes us so much, it makes everything dimensional. And it means that when, at least me, some like rando white girl from Pittsburgh, whose mother put the Tao Te Ching in front of me as a child, right? I was 13. It becomes pattern. So, like, I don't do acupuncture. I have no need to do acupuncture. I have a whole flippin' universe I can hang out in. I can go to. I can read about this here. That's going to pixelate, but this little zone here. This is where it all happens. That's it. That's the zone. It's called, if you do martial arts, you know it as your hara. It's also called a dantian. That's how I know it. That's weirdness behind me. So I'm just looking for things to show, because it's so much easier to understand when you can. In yoga, when you go to yoga class and they discuss a chakra, or it's actually pronounced chakra, CH, like chakra. When you go to a class and you're introduced to that concept, they're vortices. They're very active. I don't know what a block chakra is, but okay. This is not how it goes in Tao. Tao is this. Tao is about space. So this area where you are in this special zone, okay, in a person, in a human, this is, let's get into intersectional feminism here, sort of, but that's for Dr. Kimberly Douglas for a meeting tomorrow morning. So we've got the dantian, it lives here. The whole point of inner alchemy, what the boys are trying to do is emulate pregnancy and birth. This energy center here, let me get some metal because I'm so good at gravity. This energy center, okay, this is the finite aspect of our energy. Yay! I'm so glad the points come together. Come to class on Sunday at 6 p.m. Just register. It's a donation class. I need lists, okay? I need some other human to think this is interesting, so they'll give me money. I need to raise funding, so I need lists. I don't care if you come. You should come, but just like it's in my thing up there, okay? So this, dantian, it's all you have. The name for this energy center, the name for the energy is Jing, J-I-N-G. I just call it, it's the energy that you have for care. This is the energy I have for self-care. When people talk about not having spoons, I gotta sit. They're talking about, it's like being out of fuel, right? One of the things I really appreciate about this concept, though, which is very different than a Buddha concept, which is inherently infinite. This says, where am I lacking? What do I have? What do I need? This assumes that you were born with context. This says also, though, at that heart center where all that stuff's going on, where the weaver is weaving and the boys are boying and the sun and the heart is hearting and all of that, that's the energy that we have to share. So care is at the base, because most important. Share is at the heart. And this is like mechanical stuff. This is agriculture. This is going to the doctor. This is cooking dinner. This is having a family. This is being in a community. This is the social aspect of biopsychosocial. It is so crucial, and it is all fire. It is all fire, and there's that point when it's called it's the water wheel. The practice is the microcosmic orbit. When you come to class on Sunday, you're going to experience it. It's donation. Okay? We can do things in here because of this energy center connects to cosmic consciousness, which of course is infinite. It is not it's another bowl. That's why if you join the bean scene, you're not really a bean until you put a bowl on your head. Okay, I'm sorry. You just can't really be a bean until you do this. Okay, so there's my top energy center. Here's my belly. And then the heart is like where it's all happening. I have a master's degree from Carnegie Mellon. It's very serious stuff. I'm sincere, but why be serious? All of this is shown in that one map. Where is this on my vagus nerve? How do I get there? Stephen Porges, Peter Levine, Deb Dana, Bessel van der Kolk especially. His wife, Bessel van der Kolk wrote The Body Keeps the Score. I really am not a fan of that book. I know very few people who have read it and experienced peace. It's kind of like sending somebody to a Kundalini experience and then they blow their pineal gland out and are like, ugh, Kundalini. Care, share, spare. Energy to spare. And so that's like visionary thinking, forward thinking. That would be the risk is that it also almost becomes like a pipe or like a thin reed, and if there isn't anchoring, it falls over. So Tao also has, and this is genuinely why I accidentally experienced that alchemical birth. You don't actually start the body in the belly. You start the body at the base. I intuited this to be, I call it sense of bum, because kids understand bum. I haven't shown this to, I'm sorry, I'm trying to use my hands and my head at the same time. It's just impossible. I've had a lot of really excellent experiences with humans with like autism and other proprioceptive wrinkles with sense of bum and getting back into presence. It's really good for dissociation, and it's because of the cinnabar field. It's because of this right down here. I'm going to show you the color in a second. This is a boy and a girl. This is your primordial yin and yang. Down here is where the water begins. You can see this is like the water house, and the water is flowing as it should. It's flowing down. This is where the water goes against. This is also implying the conductivity of metal, of course, right? And that's where the alchemy is. This is where we can go against entropy. But the point, and it only works if it's done within a context of the ethos and this concept of governing and of conservation, that ultimately what we're trying to do is conserve this. We want to, it's like the planet. We only get what we got. So when you start learning the alchemy, you come into the body looking from a thing. You come into the body at the cinnabar field. You come in down here. I see this as a parallel to the magma in the center of the earth, because this, do you see how the fire is on top of the water here? When we're doing the alchemy, one thing that we'll do is you can, I've only successfully done this one time in my life. It was like 20 years ago, but I have done it successfully. It's fucking difficult, okay? But you take the water element and you put it in this cauldron, bring the fire up just enough, and then you steam your internal organs. So wild. But don't ask me what anger is. Don't ask me what love is. But I can tell you so much how I experience pain. I have weather metaphors. I have weight metaphors. I have substance metaphors. I have seasons. I have ways to relate that are personal. So instead of a number, which means nothing, I can say something like, well, today my 7 is, blah, blah, blah. Or like when I'm having I had a very exciting 10-day flare of neuropathy recently, just ended today. It was strong enough. I was like, oh, I should probably go back on some sort of pain management. So I could explain that. I could describe that to somebody as, yeah, my pain is at a 10. But what I would rather do is say, have you ever stood in front of because this is how it feels. Have you ever stood in front of a campfire and you get the little shock, little amber from the fire comes to your skin? That's my body from my fingertips to my elbows and my toes to my knees. And then we are going to turn it up. How do I put a number on that? But when I describe the experience, either people get it or they want me out of their office. It's just a really nice way to sort of, deal with that. But also it helps me be relating to me. So I want to say something about, there's a really common thing that I notice with students and clients, and those are two different creatures, where somebody will be in therapy or in a therapeutic context, and their facilitator, guide, or therapist will say, going into one of the those somatic practices, what are 5 things you can see, 4 things you can do, and then they don't feel better after. And I will say something like, well, what did you feel like? I felt even more out of it. I felt because you weren't even in your goddamn body to begin with. Because the orientation is, what do you see? And when dissociated, depending on the nature of it, one can actually very clearly report on what's happening in the environment, right? Yes. So we have to go to the cinnabar field first. This is Sense of Bum. Dr. Kimberly Douglas. I intuited it, and then the Yellow Emperor said we have to. So we're just doing it because he's the dead Chinese man. This cinnabar field is constitutionally, this is earth, water, and fire. These are the trine, man. This is it. Like every system has earth, water, and fire. Wood and metal are the other two here. You might see ether, you might see wind, you might see other, but we're pretty much always going to get earth, water, and fire. So if I'm guiding, okay, and I want you to report on you, and I say to you, what are 5 things you can see, 4 things, and you tell me, I think, because I've been told to observe, oh, that person said what I want them to say. Obviously, they're having an embodied experience. No. First to the body, then to the self, then to something else. So for the energy of care, we connect to that when we are aware that we are on. I am on something. This is the 2D reality. This is flatland. Is that anger? I don't know what all the emojis are, but when we need to be on first, no matter what, no matter whether I have legs, whether I have arms, whether my spine moves, whether on, oh, mind blown. Excellent. Thank you. I hope it's comfortable for you. Wait until you apply it to date night. Anyway, you need to be on. That is soma. And soma, our body, the soma, is us and the planet. So this model, hold on, let me get you. Right, this, that I've been like, everybody come to the bean scene. And like polyvagal theory is wonderful. I'm not saying don't talk to them, like definitely, but I would just think that it would be showing up all over the literature, whatever that is, because I don't have access to everything. Everything that I share is open source, by the way. That is one of my rules. Okay, let me bring you in. So, soma, self, something else. But soma is like soma, physical. It's gross, it's hard. It's the part where we don't necessarily really want to key into. But if you or I or whomever is orienting to soma and then to a situation, you're also creating a reality where the person in your care, the name of the map is the Neijing Tu. And it's actually 30% off in my shop right now because TikTok just made it on sale. So I think you can get it for like $10 or something. It's colorized in my shop though. It's not the black and white. But that is the map that the Yellow Emperor wrote into Chinese medicine, and it was discovered in a monastery in China in the 1800s. But the original texts that it became Chinese medicine were written about 300 years before Christ was born. And this is also the source of all Jungian thought comes from here. And I'm going to teach you the rest of it so you can actually apply Jung, because he makes it impossible. Because he just decided that we couldn't do it. The whole concept of an alchemical pregnancy was so unsettling to Jung, he literally undid the entirety of this. He was given a text. Let me get the text. His friend Richard Wilhelm. All these Germans. I'm German, so, whatever. Richard Wilhelm was he was a scholar, and he was given access to one of the texts about Taoist internal alchemy. He did. So Taoist internal alchemy is what leads to the golden elixir, Taoist alchemical birth, which I accidentally experienced, story for a different day. But so Wilhelm brings this text to Jung. And it's actually like a friend of mine gave this to me and was like, oh, have you heard about this? Like, you should really. And I was like, these people just totally undid all of that. He had never read the introduction. He had never read the context for the translation. These are historical documents. We need to know the context. The translations, like I'm in translations that my mother told me about when she was alive because she was a scholar. Otherwise, I'm not sure of these translations. But let me find, because, I read it and I was like, you boys, it's these damn boys. Bipolar tensions. Let's see, wait, here it is. That's what he said. He said that, okay, so I am now reading, it's always the effing boys. The peen intervenes. That's what we're going to remember. The peen intervenes. We need a peen. We do need a peen. This is the chart of Chinese medicine. This is my staff, so you think I'm magical. This is the chart of Chinese medicine. When I go around, I'm making more. When I go in, I'm adjusting, I'm modulating. The peen intervenes, but the peen needs to be balanced by the vagine. If the peen does not have the balance of the vagine, or the vagine does not have the peen, and lucky for us, there's a completely agendered concept in this to balance it. It's called a shen. So let's see what Jung had to say, because I first read Jung when I was in middle school, and cognitive science was my first major. So, all right, I'm going to find the issues that he had. The term pole, occasionally appears. The dualities, they correspond to the corporeal personal following bipolar tensions. And then Jung gets all like, oh, no, we can't have that. And these people are discussing. So this is like the beginning, okay? This is one of the treasures. One of the treasures that we have inside of us. It's the one we were born with. It's the one that we only have as much as we got. It's the resource that we're born with. That's the very most important thing to protect. This was designed, oh, by the way, Taoism was a political response to high control government. But we didn't know that. It was an uprising. Okay, and then, Living Master, I'm not going to tell you, this shows, here is a meditator. This is 5 spirits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And this person is in the midst of conditions, but I'm curious because there's actually 6, not 5. Wishing, holy science, Buddha, heavenly heart. Okay, so we are in the land of the organs. So we're in the land of the organs. The books get very overwhelming. Jung's primary concern was that this would turn into, that this would turn into a kind of psychosis. It does become infinitely recursive. I was not prepared for that, and it took me a minute to get out of it because I also wasn't aware that it was happening, but you're never going to do this with me, so you're going to have to find another teacher because I'm not a flamethrower kind of alchemist. But this is, so Jung said this is all too complicated, and he took 2 concepts. He took Hun and Po, fascinatingly, metal and wood. So when I was just saying a moment ago how that chart, I just made this connection, how that chart shows how important it is, where is it, to have water, earth, and fire. Where is my chart? You can tell I usually teach in person. I'm learning how to do it online. But since every generation, right? So you need to have, I don't know if Jung did it on purpose, but he took the two other elements, Hun and Po, metal and wood. And those become anima and animus. And then we get a shadow where there should be darkness. Have fun with your dinner. There's no such thing as a shadow. Well, I know. I want to find out more actually about why he chose Hun and Po. There are some modern day acupuncture practitioners who are working directly with the spirits, which is what we're going to be working with just inside with our minds. And some of them are writing about it, but I'm still reading. But it's very unfortunate because Jung truly makes it impossible. And it seems so pervasive that when I'm in other situations where people are discussing concepts of non-dualism, they go to Jung. Depth psychology goes to Jung. Gestalt, like a lot of that is coming from the ideas of non-dualism, but it seems so flavored by some of these choices that these folks made, because makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. I really want to know more about depth psychology. I'm not depth psychology trained. Most of the depth psychologists I know are white supremacists, by accident, because they know everything. I'm not saying you do, but like there's a real, I know, oh yeah, well nothing makes sense if you use words. What's the first rule of the Tao Te Ching? There's two rules in Tao. Well, there's two rules for me. There's one rule in Taoism. One. The Tao that can be named is not the Tao. So as soon as it is written, it is not. As soon as it is named, it is not. As soon as it is labeled, it is not. As soon as it is identified, as soon as we have this concept that it is distinct and separate, it is no longer Tao, it is something that we can be contemplating. And so that makes Tao, in programming language, it makes Tao object-oriented. I didn't understand that until I asked my boyfriend, Chad, the dangling GPT. I had to create a custom bot just to get all this shit together. None of this is together in the machine because none of it has been colonized the way that yoga has. If I had any connection to other, like I would imagine, and also a lot of these records haven't been destroyed, like libraries haven't been destroyed, because a lot of these locations in China we don't have access to. So it's like, unless somebody took it from China to the West, my teacher, Mantak Chia, is on this platform. And let me get you a book of his so you can see his name. He doesn't look a day older than he did 30 years ago. He was born in Thailand. No, he was born in Taiwan. Is this him? Wait, where is he? Where is he? EMDR. Well, he wrote this with somebody. I can't find his book. But Mantak Chia, Mantakchia. All of the foundational practices that I instruct, you can access also through him. He was my teacher. I will not instruct you on the advancing practices. You can pay him. Because they actually get a little dangerous. His name's Mantak Chia. Pretend like that's backwards. Mantakchia. And it is the healing Tao. I don't know if his wife is still teaching. She was based out of New York for a while when they got separated. Healing Tao, Tao. The primary, the thing that Montauk Chia gave me that was like the best was that, because I had always known, thank you, Plant Thought, thanks. Thank you. Healing Tao is what he calls his thing, and that is where you will find him. He is based in Thailand at the Tao Garden. Oh my gosh, they grow all their own food. They do a whole like completely dark thing. It's amazing. I haven't been there in a long time. And to my knowledge, he hasn't been discovered as problematic, but he's got a peen, so who knows? And power. So the purpose of the golden elixir, or the purpose of the thing, is to be able to impact and affect like what you have that you only have. That's all you have. But you got to do that here. And it also says that that while you can change some things you cannot change. There are aspects of us that are inherent. And something that I push back often in trauma land, especially polyvagal space, is this concept of healing my nervous system. From what? From my autism? From my almost dying when I was born? From 6 months of chemotherapy and 30 rounds of radiation? I'm going to heal it. I'm going to shrink my amygdala just by raising my vibration and knowing that I have a nerve. It's not going to happen. Also, the concept of regulation is rooted in the medical model. It is not rooted in the biopsychosocial model. The biopsychosocial model that a lot of practitioners that look like me are excited about is all that says is decolonize. That's all it says. That's all it is. Decolonize. Understand the difference between a forced hierarchy and a taxonomy and an ontology. The whole concept of a subtype of a disease is not natural. That is written into something so that you can have it be an algorithm that is of 2. When it's a 3, it gets very complex, you can see. And then there's also a 5. And you have to be paying attention to more than you. You see quite often with energy healers, I'm curious what you see. Healer is a word I don't personally use, but I am curious. What else? Are you seeing anything I don't want you to see? No. I want to tell you, I cannot, so on Sunday, because you're going to register, you're going to go up there and you're going to come and it's donation, and like, because I need to look like I have humans around me so somebody will fund me, I can heal this for you. Oh, yes. Well, I'm not even like anywhere in there. I'm speaking to like doctors, medical doctors. Please do not get me started with the wellness scene and how so many people just turn themselves into medical doctors, prescribing things, but it's plant medicine. Yeah, you're still prescribing. Do you know what people are on? Do you know if they're going to go into serotonin storm? Their serotonin syndrome is a genuine issue. Is anybody paying attention to that? What about taking somebody into a hyperoxygenating breathwork context if they experience any kind of psychosis or dissociation? Do people know how to handle that? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. It's amazing I'm so glad that I am an old lady now and I was around for Web 1.0 because I would definitely probably be a problem. Probably not, but it would be very easy. Part of the issue, though, Garden of Key, is the corruption of data. and also how algorithm functions to flatten everything. So just like in the body, where we've got to land on the planet first, we've got to exist first, and then something, we can be that confused with information and data. And the 100% of the rhetoric of like, oh God, manifesting, law of attraction, all of that leads to annihilation. None of it leads to expansion, the rhetoric. You don't attract, you don't be what you want. You don't become that. That's like thermodynamics. Hello, the laws of physics do apply. This actually follows the laws of physics. This is based on the first and second laws of thermodynamics. And the cognitive piece is all based on, like, you can impact and change I know that because of my background in cognitive science and linguistics, but you can change the pathways. You can impact the neuroplasticity is growth and alternate pathways. There's so much here. So there's my pineal gland. These two, this implies your face, but also your mouth. These are your lips. This is the tongue. It's other things, but right now it's the tongue. Do you see how this becomes everything when you talk to me? Because I've been spending all my life having this special interest. This is the tongue. Oh, by the way, I didn't understand all of this. I've just been doing the Montauk Chia stuff, but it's here. Here's the tongue. So when you bring the tip of your tongue to the hard palate, what that does is it effectively connects these, because now there's an inner connection. Okay. These are the governing and conception vessels. Conception as in like babies, and governing as in like peens intervening. They're called extraordinary vessels. So when you go to the acupuncturist, I'm speaking about Chinese medicine, not as a Chinese medicine. But when you go to the acupuncturist and they do the things here, that's all on the outside. This is all on the inside. These extraordinary vessels are the eight vessels that connect you to mom when you are being gestated. And you gestate, it's connected through the navel. There are 8 extraordinary vessels. When we are born and they cut the cord, the 12 meridians go poof, and then at that point, the pakwa, it's called, not the bagua, but the pakwa emerges from the navel. I can tell you what it becomes because I accidentally experienced it, but this is how it is shown. So we could consider this like when you are born, this is showing the bagua coming from the navel. Here's that energy center I've been talking about. Here's water. There is the bagua. Okay? So you would look at this like a mirror. This would be like a 1-to-1. I'd be looking, here I am, here's the phases of the moon and the sun. These are the 5 spirits of my organs. I could look at this. This is 1-to-1. This is telling me, this is like a map. This is not 1-to-1. This is showing an environment. There's dimension here. So this is about in, not just on. So we always have to land on before we go in or out. There's 3 factors, not 2. And the flatland is that cinnabar field, but this is also the line between the living and the not living, between the material and the immaterial, between organic and inorganic. So it's not like you look at something and you just have a list like this. It's a coin, but it's not just a coin. I'm gonna do this. I might have to go eat myself. It is it's actually a Mobius strip because it's infinite. And and apparently all you need to do to figure that out is have cancer all by yourself. Don't do that. Hang out with this. So on Sunday, and I will be making this even more exciting for you in ways that I'm not even sure how. Norman! On Sunday, what we'll do is the healing smile, the 6 healing sounds, and microcosmic orbit. And we're going to roll around the floor or just hang out in a chair. I don't care. By then, I will have, but it's going to be on Zoom, and I'll be able to have the fancy green screen behind me so I can like be fancy. Oh my God. Anyway. What is going on? Thank you for letting me go off. I might have to get off and take a shower. My fairy godmother, because she's like 95, her place was 80 degrees today. 80. I mean, like, I don't wear that much there, but I got to wear something. It was very warm. And then her sister came, and her sister has heart failure and is very clearly not long for the world, and that was the whole thing. Show up with your kiddos. That's right. Okay. Live long and prosper. Buy my art, or at least just register for the thing so that I can continue to exist, because I like that too. Okay. I'll see ya. Bye.